There's evil down there.
Help!
Retribution, anguish and executions await the most haunted team in Nottingham.
What right?
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. In the centre of Nottingham is a place that's seen so much death. Full apparitions, tortured screams and also ghostly footsteps have all been witnessed by staff and visitors alike. With so much spiritual activity, we just had to come to the Galleries of Justice.
Over the centuries, many thousands of people have entered the building with a sense of dread for their future. The very steps to the entrance were the site of many public executions. There has been a court on this site in Nottingham since at least 1375 and a prison since at least 1449. The Galleries of Justice is now a famous museum that houses 2 Victorian courtrooms and original cells from the 18th and 19th century. We were invited to spend the night to investigate a place that is supposed to be riddled with ghosts.
It's a complete complex of crime and punishment, from police station, courts, and of course Shire Hall. People were brought here, imprisoned, tried here in this very room where I'm sitting now, sentenced of course to many different forms of punishment, from whipping, imprisonment, branding, and of course execution. Some of them actually in front of this building. So there's got to be loads and loads of tormented souls that are still wandering the building.
This is the main entrance hall where people will have waited to have been tried. Can you imagine everybody's emotions running wild? They didn't know whether they were going to be executed or incarcerated. There are 3 main apparitions here: a Victorian gentleman, a soldier, and an old lady.
I know at one point that the electrician here, when they were first putting all the electricity and running everything through there, they actually had a really strange experience where everything went completely icy cold so that they could see their breath in front of them. And they ran out and refused to come back. For the whole day, they wouldn't return.
This courtroom was last used as a Crown Court in 1986, and it looks exactly the same as it did hundreds of years ago. Executions were handed out in this very room, groans have been heard, and also people have reported seeing dark, ghostly shadows moving from side to side.
Those that were actually sentenced to death here, if you can just imagine the sound of the judge's voice resounding around this room as he placed a black cap on his head and said the following words: "And the sentence of this court is that you be taken back to the jail from whence you came, and from there to a place of lawful execution, where you'll be hanged by the neck until you are dead. And may the Lord have mercy upon your soul, 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 upon your soul."
Many people have heard keys turning in locks. They've also felt an evil presence, so terrified that they've had to leave the building immediately. We don't have a choice. We have to stay.
I had an experience there twice where I've had the door slammed shut in my face when nobody's been down there, and there was absolutely no wind whatsoever. And that was quite scary because obviously something didn't want me down there. And quite a few people have experienced things there.
Carol Wyman, our paranormal investigator, had spent time getting to know the complex layout of the building and the ghost stories. I was nervous about the night ahead and needed some reassurance.
Phil, this is a foreboding place. I do not like it at all. I think especially when the lights go off, I'm going to be pathetic.
Well, that's right. Walking around in the daytime is bad enough. This building, or a building on this location, has been here for about 800 years. Some of the things that happened here weren't particularly pleasant. The atmosphere at night is going to be really bad.
Obviously, we have to be really careful, don't we, because it's a very echoey place, quite big as well.
It is a big place. Sound does travel really well here. We have to be careful that we're not hearing crew members, say, on the other side of the building. So we've got to pay attention and look out for that.
Now, are you going to be doing any trigger objects, anything specific that you're going to be doing tonight?
Well, I'd like to pay attention to the courtroom, specifically the noises that have been heard there. So I'm going to place the voice recorder in that room, also set a trigger object or maybe in the laundry area.
Right, and what about the courtyard outside? Because that's quite a frightening place, because it's actually bodies, aren't there, underneath?
That's right. Apparently, when they executed and hanged people here, they buried some of them under the courtyard outside. At night time, I wouldn't particularly want to be there on my own.
So that's a place that will take you, put you on your own?
That's a place will take me, or you, even.
No, we're not doing that tonight.
Okay.
It's too scary a place for anybody to go on their own.
There's so many corridors, there's so many cells, there's so many rooms, and even buildings, that people are obviously going to get disorientated, people are probably going to get lost, and I do genuinely believe that people are going to encounter things tonight.
I think it's going to be really exciting for the Most Wanted crew, because I think they will feel something, particularly in some of the areas here. One of the main ones is probably the pits and the dark cells. That's just typically one of the scariest places just to look at. It's very dark and grisly.
We all had mixed emotions about the night ahead. The Galleries of Justice was a frightening place to be in the day. At night, no one wanted to be alone. We wanted to know who the supposed ghosts were, so we asked psychic Derek Akora to join us. With all of us together, we started our investigation. We began in the main courtroom, where many people had experienced strange noises and dark ghostly shadows.
Just at this moment, the strongest residual energy that seems to be related to this area itself is this pure hopelessness, feeling of hopelessness. The person standing here from the residual energy, someone who's been tried, someone who's looking at the judge and then ducking the head and what have you at some point in time, and feeling no remorse whatsoever. None whatsoever. And yet, for the hideousness of the feelings that are coming over my shoulders, to my head, to my conscious mind, as if I've just slaughtered and had no absolute remorse about it at all. What makes it worse, the feelings that are coming to me, it's like as if he's slaughtered his own people, not strangers. And looking down at it's a family. And I feel there's youngsters involved here. And I feel he's the father figure, the dad. And his conditions are very, very, very strong here. I feel that's William something. There's also another as well, another who comes, the energy is leaving me here with him and someone else coming all around me. And I don't know why, but I also get this hideous feeling with the name, help me with this, Sam, from the residual, is that surname? Thank you. Pa. I get W and J, Pa. And I get conditions of also great, grotesque, negative